Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Austin Adventure Park Let's Play Planet Coaster series as we are adding in, you guessed it, a new roller coaster into the park. And this one is going to be one of the hybrid coasters. It is a steel track. I'm not doing the steel topper. Um, it's a steel track, and this section is going to be more of a Western themed section, right? So that's what we're going to be going with, and these coasters tend to fit that pretty much perfectly, like to the T. Um, so we're going to get started on building this. This is just a brake run that we're working on. This is going to be one of the premier rides that we have here in the park. It'll be one of the, I guess I wouldn't say bigger rides. We don't Ours aren't very tall. In general, they go around a little over 100. Maybe about 30, 40 feet. So it's going to have some height, but nothing too excessive. And one of the things that I do love about this ride, and this is from going on the Iron Rattler, is that zero G roll. Yeah, the smoothness of it on these things with all the speed that they have, it is absolutely an amazing feeling. Going over those, so I had to get that ensure that that was included. A lot of the inversions, I generally go with the in-game ones, just because for me personally, they're kind of a pain to fit in. But that's, like I said, that's me. Doesn't have to be anybody else. Hey, if you want to make your own, by all means, go for it. It's just not something that I do. So, working on this track and the layout, I needed to keep it confined, right? So we're bumping up against the parking lot, which once again, I think that is a great idea for rides. So you can hear them, you hear the screams of the people on them, and it's something that really kind of gets people pumped up for before you even get into the park. And in this situation, it is far enough from the hotel that I think where all the main screams would happen that the guests aren't going to really be disturbed by that. So this is kind of just your basic out and back. We do have a couple inversions included. We put in the mid-course brake run. And I like the close calls, the head chopping moments that we have. And we're going to also build in some scenery head choppers and stuff to kind of get people excited, get them scared that, hey, if I keep my hands up, I may not have them at the end of this ride. But in the end, I really like how this one did turn out, weaving it in and out of itself. We do go through and start smoothing out the ride. Granted, before I tested, what you're looking at right now is a pretty fast test run. We will get a proper POV later on. I do see a couple moments that it looked like maybe our heads would have been chopped off on something, so gonna have to make some slight fixes there. But in general, the ride system and design is pretty good about if it gets too close, it won't let you put it in. So I think, even though it may just be where the camera's sitting, is what it could be as far as the look of it. It did go through pretty smooth, and we hit kind of a standard little rabbit hill going into that first little comeback moment. And then we go into the zero G roll. And I really love how you get a lot of airtime with these rides. With this particular type of coaster, you can hit, with the steel tracked ones, you can hit a lot of sharp corners at high speeds and a lot of hills at high speeds to give you that great airtime. I live in Texas. We got two parks here, Fiesta, Texas, and Over, Texas. Both of their hybrids have excellent airtime on them. It's a great feeling. It adds so much to the ride when you really get that ejector stuff launching you. What would be launching you out if you weren't buckled in? So I love how these rides really work out and how they feel, the speed. They're excellent. So I had to fit one into our Austin Adventure Park. Now, we are going to still, like I said, I do a lot of testing. You'll get your couple POVs. We are definitely going to have one at the end as we do a little walkthrough of the area. What you're going to see right here primarily is the building of the ride and the station. I do a lot of work off camera. One, because I like to get the series going. I like to get stuff developed and built without it always, worrying about timing. How long is this recording taking? I can tell you this episode itself is, at least all the speed build stuff, It's about 3.5 hours of footage, give or take, um, from the building, smoothing, and then really what takes the most time is what you're going to start seeing here in a second, and that's building all the stuff around the station, everything like that. So that's kind of what takes the longest. Um, and so I like to get everything squeezed in, and I like to show off the area and have it in a pretty decently timed episode. So now here we are. We're going to start going into the station and building the station. The Western theme. It obviously you're going to be looking at using wood. I mean that's a given, right? That's kind of a given. Um, One of the things that I like about the way this station turned out is the multiple levels and what you have to see as far as going up and down. The way it kind of builds into everything for us. And start extending the queue out. I do play around with this pathing just a little bit because if you come too close to a path at some point, it can actually end up connecting and really kind of messes up kind of how it looks and functions. So we do get that part squeezed out as far as the entrance queue. This is going to be the exit. And really, I did kind of debate, do we go over the track or do we come under? And in this instance, once again, I kind of went more with I guess you could say, an Iron Rattler type moment. We went under the track and put a good spot to build. I would call it a booth, a photo section, a shop, an exit shop for the ride. You come off, you're gonna have your photo area, you're gonna have gifts, souvenirs, all that. And so that's kind of what that building is intended for. And I think it generally turns out pretty well. A lot of the main details in some of the buildings we're going to see when we do a final walkthrough of the park. That is going to be coming up in a few episodes. I can tell you that. I got a couple more rides to build, a couple more episodes to actually record, and then we will have our final walkthrough. And with that in mind, go ahead and give me an idea. Give me your ideas for what the name of this ride should be. We're going to see what we can come up with in the comments, and whoever's got the best name, we'll go ahead and put that name for the ride, and I will build a custom sign for it. Now, once again, y'all know I'm not that great at it, but hey, I will do it for y'all. Come up with the name, we'll get the sign built, and it will definitely be featured in that final episode of our park walkthrough. And this station is, once again, it's what we're continuing. And these things are pretty basic. There's nothing too extensive about them. You always see a lot of woodwork in them, a lot of rafters and beams and stuff. And so that's kind of what we wanted to make sure we were able to see. We don't cover those actually up from being able to see it underneath. On top, of course, yeah, we put the roof on it. But in general, whenever you walk around into these stations, you notice there's a lot of waist-high basically walls in between to kind of keep everybody cattle pinned and going the right way. And then we also have the rafters up top. And it's all very visible. It kind of adds to the ride as a whole. So I definitely do like how this turned out and this station comes out incredibly well, I think. And this is some of the finer detailing that I really wanted to try to put into this park. Getting all these little wood things done and have to line them up with each roof tiles just to make sure everything stays on the same angle, and then making sure we selected all of them, slide them over. I'm not gonna lie, that is no easy thing for me to do. I play this game on a laptop. Trust me, sometimes some of those things get missed and it just ain't cutting it, you know what I mean? So we got the basic framework set up. Now we're going to put in some more of I'm going to just say framing details. And this is pretty standard for a lot of stuff that you see in Planet Coaster. So once again, I like how it turned out. And it may be kind of standard, but it looks pretty dang good, I like to think. And so that was a big thing for us in this episode. And in this ride, and really all the other rides as well. Now you do get some shots of the park in the background. I kind of like this park is really coming together. I think it's definitely coming together better than our last one. So I like the direction we are going. Got a very solid base working with it and getting these rides and everything built up. Now, here comes some more of the finer details of the station. Get the base of it done, the pathing covered, making sure that really for security purposes, we'd have to cover all of that right there. You know how much stuff falls off. Someone just drops the phone that plops on top of your dome. It's going to hurt and cause some damage. So we do have to keep that in mind as we go forward in our buildings with the stations and some of the surrounding network areas as far as pathways go. So just getting this final little, I'm going to say, framework done. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Yeah, it's just walls. It's your basic wall pieces. There's nothing too extravagant about it. And this is what I was talking about with security. Start building stuff around the exit path, the walking path. Because in reality, that's what you would have to have there. You're right next to the track. You got to have a fence up. You got to stop people from, at least try your best to stop people from jumping over. I think we all know sometimes that doesn't work out. Can't help everybody though, so that is what it is. And this pathway and this queue, I think, turned out incredibly well compared to a lot of our other queues. And I like the overall design, and it really fits into the area, and we're actually going to see what this area looks like once it is completed here in probably just about a minute and a half, give or take. We're going to cut over to that. And I really hope y'all enjoy it kind of like I do. And here we are putting in a base, and I almost forgot. You got to have fences up, and so I almost put our floor covers on before I put the fences on. That would have been a big old mistake for us to do. So here we are. It's just some basic fencing around the pathway to keep everything going. Yeah, just taking the price down. Not sure what that was about. Who knows? It probably came up while I was in the game. Just the way it works sometimes. So we're going to finish off some of this fencing. And like I said, that's all just for security purposes. And I think everybody can know, hey, when you're walking through a queue, you're going to have some fencing and everything. Right? That's pretty basic type of stuff. Is what I'm trying to say, I guess. So here we are, finishing up these final little details of... and this isn't all the details. Like I said, there's some stuff that takes a while that I do cut out. All right. I try to make sure to show it whenever we get through when we do the walkthrough of it. Whether it be the floor coverings, the walls, the lighting that we have, the entire area as a whole. Okay. If y'all want to see me actually build one of the next areas, put that down in the comments, and we'll make sure to separate that episode out into seeing the rides be built, plus the buildings in the area. I'm not too sure. Me personally, I like watching people build the rides. And I study what they do on buildings just to try to get to that level, knowing that that's pretty dang hard to do. But I try, so I'll watch it just for kind of a learning purposes. I'm definitely not someone that you should watch for a learning purpose. It's definitely not my major talent. We'll say that. So I do just primarily show the building of the ride, the station, and kind of some things that go on around that. But we're going to jump over to a live shot here in just 1 minute of how this whole area kind of came together. And while we do that, just want to remind y'all to hit the subscribe button if you have not already. And if you do end up liking today's videos, hybrid coasters, amusement parks, theme parks, everything about it, give us that thumbs up. It does help out the channel, and we greatly appreciate everything that y'all do for us here at Champions. So we're taking a look at this surrounding area. Like I said, the path covers, I love it. Standard, type of wooden path cover for a western type of area. And I started trying to play with some of the levels. I'm not very good with terrain, so it really works out just to kind of raise up some of the buildings. That just makes things a little bit easier in that sense. And so you'll see some buildings are going to be higher up, and it's kind of like with that big old loop on the other side in the pirate area. That drop down. There's a little drink stand and medical center that's a little bit higher for us. And so coming through, like I said, I think this turned out pretty well. I forgot to get all the rides started. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we get all those things going. The roller coaster is the only one that we had, and you can see that line is getting filled up quickly. And so yeah, just taking a look around. Got a lot of the wooden kind of Western style stuff going on. Lights on a couple of the rides. And we will, as I said, get to a lot more finer look at everything when we do our full park walkthrough. So here's where the exit comes out of this ride. So that is what y'all were looking at when I was putting in that little pathway with the walls and everything. That's kind of what it turned out into. And then we do have the ending with this Ferris wheel and a little, I guess, food court off to the left side that kind of cuts that corner to level everything out. And it'll take us into the next section of our park. So here we are looking at this one. We are about to jump into a full POV ride, so you will see everything that we have added on to it. I do love the green lighting and the green track that we have over there. This is one of our flat rides that came together pretty well. Like I said, normally I don't do that much detailing on the roofs and the walls for flat rides, but that turned out pretty dang decent. So here we are back to our roller coaster, looking at the queue line. That thing is full. That would take a couple hours to get through. And coming back to the front of the western area, I love how this lighting has worked out. It really plays into this. Here we come up our short little section. We got some vending machines over there, some stands, a couple of restrooms, and just some regular like shading that we can put out for people to stand under, even though it looks to be kind of low now that I see it. But hey, it is what it is. I enjoy it, and I think this section looks absolutely amazing. Pretty well put together. And we finally got the light scene on the lift hill. We'll definitely need to change that up some, so we can see it a little bit easier. Now we're going to go back to the daytime, and we are going to go over to our new roller coaster. Oh, trash on the ground. I definitely need to put some bins around. Well, I got some. Danged ingrates just dropping trash everywhere. God, these peeps are sloppy folks, I tell you what. Line just... Yet I digress. Here we go as we come through the line, just cutting through everybody. Not even worried about them. And there's no need to go down. We can just kind of come up over this way. Excuse me, out of the way. Emergency, need a ride now. We're going to finish going up these ramps and get on to our new ride. Like I said, let me know down in the comments what you think the name of it should be. We'll pick the best name and I'll make the sign, and it will definitely be displayed and shown off during our final park walk. So as we go ahead and jump on this ride, I will leave y'all here for it. As I said before, remember to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see y'all in the next episode. So enjoy this POV, and as always, everybody, stay safe, and well, y'all know how it goes by now, right? Later, y'all.
gentleman who emotions. Till now, Spally Madly.